Making sure you understand the law. But first, we have to say this. This is for informational purposes only. The segment does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by watching or participating in this segment. You do want to reach out to an attorney if you're seeking any specific legal advice. So, paperwork's out of the way, and we're back to it. Talking about a very topic that's been on a lot of people's minds lately here in Shreveport. Traffic cameras. Do they help or hurt your case in an accident? Joining us, of course, is Bill Kindig with Rice and Kindig. And what can you tell us about these traffic cams, man?
Okay, so the first thing is when you come up to a light and you think that's a camera, it's a sensor.
Right.
It's not a camera. It's not recording any information. Now you go through a school zone, they're taking snapshots of you. So we don't have traffic cams traditionally, other than that might be put on by KTBS, monitoring certain freeways or whatever else. The likelihood that somebody is going to be able to see what happened in your wreck is much more likely to be associated with a business that is along the roadway, right, than it is city monitored or state monitored cameras.
And how often is that information or those videos used from those cameras from businesses? Or
you know, we talked about this on Wednesday at pretty good length. They are more and more common. It is difficult to have a wreck, especially in an urban setting, where it was not partially caught by a business's security cameras. We see it all the time. That's the first thing we do, especially when somebody is trying to suggest that, you know, we call them green light cases. Right. Both parties say they had the green light. How do you split the tie? How do you split the difference? And most often we do it by getting a local business's surveillance cameras. You have to be polite. You have to say please and thank you.
Right.
Most people are very willing to share that information, especially when you let them know what's at stake.
Yeah, of course. And is there another process that you would have to go through to get that video if they weren't as agreeable?
Yeah, there is. I mean, we could subpoena the information. However, most lawsuits are not filed immediately following a collision. Now, we have done it in some cases. We will send business owners a preservation letter asking them to please preserve their information, because a lot of businesses will have their cameras on a 30-day loop sequence, or sometimes a 24-hour loop sequence. So we've got to get out there right away to make sure that that information is preserved. And like I say, you know, if it's a local business, we have always had very good luck getting that information without the need of a subpoena. Now, if it's a government, state, federal, or local, we do have to subpoena that information because they don't often share that information with us. There's also some interesting things. You know, the police wear, I call them belly button cameras, right, and they have cameras on their cars. When you go up and start talking to a police officer after the crash, everything is recorded. That is information that we can get under a Freedom of Information Act request, or what we call a FOIA, or through subpoena. And it's amazing what some people say, yeah, on camera, on recording, and sometimes the story they tell at the scene is much different than the one they tell, right, in their deposition. So more and more technology is becoming more and more part of what we do, and more important in terms of the evidence and the evidence that we have to prove the truth of your case.
All right, well, long story short, those cameras are always watching.
They are.
All right, Bill, thank you.